Test. Test, test. Hello there, friends. Welcome back. Sorry for the small delay. I had everything ready to go, getting ready to push the final button, and I got the blue screen of death, which is always entertaining right before you go live. Audio is good. Thank you, Alistair. I appreciate that. So as you can see, hopefully this is coming across. But as you can see, we're trying something different. We've got the camera pointed down. We've got one of our boards here in the frame, and we have a setup that is very similar to the setup I would always use for the regular tinkering or show and tell videos. And if this works out, if we like this, then it might be a nice bridge, if you will, something I've been thinking about since our conversation 2 weeks ago, a way to bridge or merge, perhaps is a better term, the streaming content with the topical, more research-based videos that have been the staple of the channel in the past. So maybe merging those two might be a good compromise going forward. Gwen, Hunchback Jack, Slight Sounds in the chat. So lovely to see you all. So lovely to see all of you after all this time. So, this will be the first time we're able to do paper-oriented and kind of surface-oriented work. And since we've changed the setup here, this is hopefully this will work out. And I already have some ideas, maybe kind of 5 draft ideas of more topic-based videos that could be streams, but that can be done in this this format. So, hey Elizabeth, hey Yeti, Yeti made it. Everybody say hello to everybody in the chat. And I sometimes, you know, as I'm streaming, I'm having to pay attention to 4 or 5 things at the same time. So if I miss someone's initial greeting in the chat, please do me a favor and cover for me and greet all the new people as you see. Hello there, Scott. Looks and sounds great. I appreciate that. So yes. Oh, what? We have a visitor who's being whiny. She's been in a stream before, although she was a lot smaller then. All right, well, so we have some items here to look at and flip through. Hey there, Marsh. Let's see what we have. One of these things you will likely remember, or recognize rather. Here is the 1935 Jordan High School yearbook. That was the subject of the ASMR yearbook video about 6 years ago. This book This book has the shiniest, the slickest pages. Oh, the camera's not liking that exposure though. It's very bright. It's one of the things about doing this on a stream as we get to oh my gosh, Boring Books is here. Hello. It's awesome to see you. I don't know if I can change my camera properties now that I'm already streaming. Let me take a shot at it because we can't see that at all. We need to get that auto exposure happening. There we go. That's better. Here we go. Apologies. Okay, so the yearbook has the shiniest paper stock, which you can kind of tell in the way it reacts to the skin like that. Hopefully the page sounds are coming through nicely. And we'll read some more of these inscriptions if we can decipher the handwriting all right. So this is one of our paper sound targets tonight. You've seen that one. Here's a couple you haven't seen. Let's see, the yearbook was 1935. We have this World Atlas. Red, bumpy cover with a nice texture. This one, this is a 1933 Atlas. This has a more matte surface to the pages. Now this stream is meant to be a little more about page sounds and not necessarily, stopping to digest a bunch of the content. But that said, since we're going to be looking at an atlas and it's from 1933, if you would like to see something specific in this atlas to see how it was depicted in 33, we'll be happy to take lookup requests when we get to this one. So you can think about that. All right, so this is number 2. And we have, oh, I can't do that. It's the difference between doing this on a stream versus edited videos that in the latter, you get to edit all the fumbling around out. But we have this Macmillan's Pocket Classics edition of Homer's Odyssey. Hunchback. Love the heartbeat of those atlas pages. That is a neat way to put it. Now this itty bitty book, it has some writings in it that I'm having a hard time reading. And this would be from this is 1921. And of course the smallest book has the thinnest pages. You can hear that already. Much thinner. Slight likes the thinnest pages the best. I am a little partial to them as well. I don't know if I have a clear favorite. I think I like the Atlas as well. I will get to explore these a little more. And I've got I guess I didn't know if one of these ended up not being very triggering or enjoyable. I've got a fourth item here. I was curious. I wasn't sure what the oldest book in the house might be, and this might be in the running. It's a book of Psalms by the, published by the American Bible Society. And if this can be believed, which I guess there's no reason not to, this is from 1859. I don't see a later date. Yeah, I'm with you, Gwen. I like that each of the the way paper speaks, right, is like a fingerprint or a signature. It makes every book, the experience of interacting with the book, everyone is unique because of the tactile nature of everything. So I think what we have here is an 1859 copy of the Psalms. I think it's got some gilding on the edges of the pages. It's got this large print. And these pages sound like this. You can hear that. So there's a dark, heavy crinkle on these pages. Okay. I thought about just having this as a backup, and now that I hear this dark, oh yeah, we're gonna have to, yeah. Oh, this is better than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. I'm also a big fan of that skin on paper, kind of a friction sound. Which is good on this board as well. Okay, I'm glad I got this out. I got this out at the last minute, and I think I may put this in the rotation instead of the, well, shoot. We've already done a whole video on that yearbook. I wonder if, see, even that friction sound is dark and kind of, it's not very trebly, you know, it's not very, oh, what's this? It's like a poem that's been clipped out of a newspaper. And then something on the back, letter from South Carolina. I don't know what the rest of it. Hilton Head, South Carolina, March 10th, 1864. Surely this can't be a newspaper clipping from 1864. That is, wow. What was the date on this book? $1859. I have a visitor on the back of my chair. The cat is jumped up there and is wreaking havoc. I wonder if this could possibly be... Hey, Supernova. Hey, Spiel BPX. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the Yellow Shark album. That is quite something. I apologize. I just wonder. I'm getting distracted in my own video about the stuff that I'm handling. Just crazy to think that this might be a newspaper clipping from the 1860s. But then if this book is from the 1850s, I guess I shouldn't... Okay, sorry. It's crazy. So anyway, these are the items we have to explore and talk about this evening. Maybe I should save these things if we're going to do it later. Okay. Introduction's over. I think we're going to close with this one, because this is... I'm digging this one very much. Okay. that case. Let's take a closer look at this guy for a little bit. Oh, and I have hey there, Packy. Hello to you and the Netherlands. Oh gosh, 4 in the morning. Can't sleep. Well, we need to do something about that. Oh, and I have my paintbrush pointer this evening. Here's one of my favorite things on an old map. Any section that is labeled unexplored. That's pretty cool. So this is Atlas of the World, especially prepared with many unusual features by Rand McNally and Company. Rand McNally is the content author for the cartography, but you'll see this is published under the banner The Literary Digest. I did do a quick Wikipedia on this, and this was a weekly magazine that was published by Funk and Wagnalls for many years, starting in the late 1800s and ending in 1938. Weekly current events and news opinion kind of a magazine. I read that the Literary Digest was big into postal card polls that it would run for various topics like presidential elections, and they had a great reputation of always predicting the winner of the presidential election until the election of 1936, which the poll got completely wrong, and apparently there was enough reputational damage from that poll getting the result so wrong that the magazine never recovered and went out of business less than 2 years after that election. We've got our contents here. Oh, there's a solar system section. We'll be checking that out. These pages are kind of a middle ground between the Book of Psalms and the Yearbook. Kind of a medium weight. You know, we've done a lot of maps on this channel in the past, and you know, I'm a big fan of some of the aesthetic aspects of certain cartographic styles, and I will confess that I'm not a huge fan of the look of these maps. They're a little bit bland. I do like all the little lines to represent kind of the I guess the ground level falling away at the water's edge. I do like that, and I like the little hash marks that they use to represent mountains. There's a lot of that here in Colorado. The colors are not blowing me away, though. Let's see, this atlas would not have Alaska or Hawaii listed as states, would it? A lot of those relief lines down here off the coast, Louisiana and Lake Pontchartrain. Hey there, Scad Vanna. Hello, welcome. Supernova has a question about live streams. Do not have to feel like you need to generate. Well, you know, Supernova, that is an excellent, excellent question, and one that I've been thinking about a lot lately as my mind has kind of been returning to the channel and kind of the creative outlet here. I'd be lying if I said that the normal kind of videos that I've made on this channel are quite a bit more stressful. I take more measures to get the house much quieter than I do for streams. I have a really difficult time doing those kinds of videos when there's anyone else in the house, because I'm always stressed out about someone moving or making a sound, and a lot of stress comes from trying to control the environment a little bit too much. And then you have the editing, and then you have the exporting, and there's just a lot, there's a lot more to it. And I'm not nearly as concerned about all of those kinds of aspects when we just fire up the webcam and do something like this. But the flip side of that is, and I'm sorry, Supernova, if this was more answer than you were looking for. The flip side of that is that I never really do anything topical with streams. We just use it for small sound triggers and chatting. But I've been thinking a lot lately that, you know, when I think about the mechanics of doing one of the more topical videos, you know, it's got research and stuff that goes on beforehand and stuff like that, but when you get right down to actually shooting the footage, it's really like this. It's like my phone pointed down with a microphone right here. And so I got to thinking lately, wow, you know, why can't I do that same thing, those same mechanics, but do it live instead? And then pull some of the topical subjects into the live streams and come up with this kind of a fusion of the live stream stuff and the more topical kind of videos as a compromise. That's what's been going on in my head lately. Boring Books says it's lonely work sometimes. That is very true. I wanted to go back. Look at this. Look at this map of Ohio. This is something that you see a lot of in old maps of this style, this notion that you have to fill every bit of free space with names of towns. I don't really care for that. I like a map to breathe a little bit better, and this is a very dense, this is a dense fellow right here. So that's kind of what I've been thinking, Supernova. Because my head isn't, you know, really back into the space where I can really take on the kind of the full video production type thing that I used to do. I say that like it was a lot of work or something. Obviously, it's not a role play with a green screen. There's creators that put a ton more work into their stuff, obviously, but oh my gosh. Look at the density here. Nothing but words, little words. Elizabeth just finished a book, Ohio Valley, That Dark and Bloody River. How did you like that book, Elizabeth? Would you recommend it to our chat audience? Thank you, Supernova. That's really kind of where my head's at. I'm really looking at, you know, I've been away for so long, and I'm looking at what's the most workable, sustainable way to kind of get these creative juices going again, and this hybrid approach is kind of where I'm leaning, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I jotted down about 5 little ideas that might be fun to do for streams, so that's, you know, that's 2.5 months worth, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Gwen, you're right about the density. Of course, then you have Wyoming. Lower population density, fewer towns. I wonder what their criteria was for deciding when you put a named town on a map and when you don't. And I wonder if in Ohio so many towns and cities tripped that threshold that they felt they had to pack them in no matter what just to be consistent. This is a lot better. Like Elizabeth highly recommends that book. It's history, but it reads more like a novel. That's very nice. And do let me know if you like the turning, fine, but you don't like the sound. I tend to do it kind of unconsciously, but I know some people don't like that part, that sound. So if that's no good for anybody, please do let me know. I think my cat figured out how to open the French doors. Gwen visited Wyoming earlier this year. The Tetons were breathtaking for this East Coaster. Tell us about that, Gwen. Was that your first time out west? Or maybe first time seeing that kind of terrain? I ask that question as someone who hasn't really seen that firsthand either. I've been to the West Coast, but in terms of seeing mountains firsthand, I'm a little bit lacking there. Here's Europe. We made it to Europe. France. Gosh, the style is so inconsistent. Like on some of the other maps, like Ohio, a lot of the town names were at odd angles, and these are almost all horizontal to the map. Gwen had hiked the Rockies before, but the Tetons sort of rise out of flat plains in a really startling way. I love I love your use of the word startling there, because I love how nature can sometimes just be so dramatic, right? And I'm not talking about, weather or intense weather and things like that. I mean, somehow some vistas, some overlooks, large features that make us feel small. That kind of drama I've always found rather arresting. Hey, Geek Filter is in the chat. It's gonna jump on the ADHD kicked in, and now I'm on a walk. Geek Filter is joining us from a walk. That's very nice. Thank you for being here. Gibraltar. comparison designators. Oh my gosh. See, I think I would appreciate a map like this better if it was, say, 4 or 5 feet across, like covering in a whole wall. Because I'd like to get very close. I'd like this to be very large, and then I want to get very close with my eyes and study this stuff. If you're going to have this kind of detail, you need to offset it with size, I think. So you make it very, very large, and then I think it works a lot better. The details should be calibrated to the viewing distance, right? And in a book like that, I just think this is too much. But it's cool though. But it's a choice. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Hunchback. Europe in 33. You are correct. Captures this feeling really well in his books. Those feelings of the drama of nature. Is that what you mean? Boring books. Geek Filter's got the noise canceling headphones. Pleasant night in LA. Excellent. Supernova, talking about Mount Hood, suddenly appeared in my view. Wow. Nearly crashed. Nearly crashed my car in awe. That's outstanding. I mean, it's outstanding, but it's also outstanding that you did not crash your car. I know it's probably not a good comparison to a mountain, but you know I go down to the Red River Gorge area in Kentucky in the fall sometimes. I think there's a video in the Junk Drawer playlist about this. But the very first arch I ever saw down there, oh gosh, I'm embarrassed. Did I forget the name of the arch? It's Whittleton. It's Whittleton Arch. And it's not one of those high exposed kind of postcard type of an arch. It's kind of a rough kind of arch where rocks have fallen down from the center. There's a little kind of a waterfall kind of trickling over it. But the hike to this arch is kind of winding. It goes through a lot of trees, a lot of pine. But the trail is oriented such that you really never get a very long view downrange. There's enough twists and turns and corners and things that you can't really ever see too far away. And then you get a little closer and a little closer to the arch, and you start hearing the water. You hear the white noise that is the unmistakable signature of falling water. But you can't see anything. You don't see the arch, but you can hear it. You hear it before you see it. And then you get closer and you get closer. And finally, you make a last turn, and then the arch is revealed, and you discover that you're much closer to the arch than you thought you were. And the reveal, particularly on a very sunny day, when you see the water and the arch at the same time, things are just glistening, and the trees, the colors are turning, and that was my first arch experience, and down in the gorge. And there are bigger arches. There are arches with better vistas, but I'll never forget that reveal. Oh, that's right. We wanted to look at... oh, here they are. Oh, let's see. I'll probably turn this. If you hear Mount Hood before you see it, you're in deep trouble. That's great advice. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. Looky here, the solar system as it was thought of in 1933. Of course, you know what I'm going to look at. Very first thing, ain't no Pluto. Yeah, I think we were less than 10 years away from discovering Pluto. It was a 36, 39, something like that. See, I can't slide this too far north because I'll knock into the microphone. This chart here is labeled Theory of the Seasons. I don't know what's theoretical about seasons. It's got zodiac stuff mixed in, which is an interesting addition in a page about the solar system. Interesting. Theory of the tides. And some interesting word choices there. Oh, Pluto, we hardly knew ye. Let's see, Packy, Landscapes of Nature. Pretty expensive. Well, I'm sympathetic to that, Packy, because I'm here in the United States, and I still haven't been able to see several of the things that I would like to see, because it is big. I'm not much of a long distance driver, and I would have to fly to some of the places I want to see, and I've just never. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Geek Filter is coming in with the knowledge here. March of 1930. It was discovered in 30, but it's not in this book yet. Well, that's intolerable, isn't it? Okay. Well, I was giving Rand McNally the benefit of the doubt, but maybe maybe they were just, it was slow to get that information institutionalized into the various publications. So supernova, talking about these airway maps. What do they call these? Yep, airway map. The legend here, in case the webcam isn't resolving it very well, you've got passenger and mail. Passenger routes, mail routes, passenger and express routes, mail and express, passenger, mail, and express. Key to airlines. M is airmail, P is passengers, E is express. Wow, you know, now that I'm looking at this, I would hold this up to the camera, but I've got the focus locked, so it would just get blurry. There's a few recognizable companies here, like American Airways and Boeing System, but most of these are small, regional concerns, like the Alaska Washington Airways, Browers Air Services, Eastern Air Transport, Frank Martz Airline, National Parks Airways. Huh. It's the early days of passenger travel. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe they didn't verify it when that was printed. I'm sure that's true. Surely had longer distance flights than these connections already by this point in time. You know, see, that's a great question, because, you know, with smaller planes, less fuel carrying capacity, and less efficiency in the air, I do wonder what the maximum length of passenger one-way passenger travel by air was in these days. That would be a good thing to think about and find out. If you were to make one of these today, you probably wouldn't see the map underneath all the lines. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. But then in the key to airlines, there'd only be like four or five air companies anymore. Oh, looky here. Here's an airway map of Europe. Look at these lines. Look at this crazy legend. Polish, Romanian, Russian, Danish, German, Dutch, Swedish, Finnish, Swedish. Wow. Wow, very cool. Airway map, airway map. What's up with this South America airway map? Why are all the routes along the perimeter Maybe it's that distance thing we were talking about. Maybe distances were really limited between refuelings. Hey there, Billy. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm glad to see you here. It is good to be back and good to be with you all. Thank you. Poor Portugal, all alone. I miss the... Nobody's going to Portugal. At least not by air. So under the tree limit, I see the plume from a SpaceX rocket. You're seeing that like right now on your walk? That's pretty cool. The more inland you go, the less sparsely populated Latin America generally gets. Crashing in the Amazon. Oh, very good. Very good point. Very good point. A chronological review of aviation history. This is an interesting thing to have in an atlas, especially since the first item in the chronology is 232 BC. Archimedes propounded law governing the flotation of bodies in liquids and gases. There you go. My eyes just fell on this item from August 13th of 1930. Captain Hawks lowered the transcontinental record from Los Angeles to New York to 12 hours 25 minutes, making 3 stops. 3 stops. Then we talk here about the USS Akron, the world's largest dirigible. Carried 207 persons on a 10-hour flight. The largest number ever carried by a single craft in the air. History of philosophy without any gaps. History of aviation without any gaps. Yep, this is everything. No gaps here. Here is and this is the words they use, handy railroad map. It's handy. It's so very handy. This reminds me of, we play, what's the game we play? The tabletop game about trains, building train routes, Ticket to Ride. This looks like a Ticket to Ride board. My great aunt flew with Orville Wright. You don't get to just drop nuggets like that and just, not have us ask you more about them. Your great aunt flew with Orville Wright. That's super cool. Yes, this is a map of only the handy railroads. The non-handy railroads are being discriminated against because they're not handy. New Zealand to the U.S. the long way around because the Japanese had just attacked Pearl Harbor. Wow. Ticket to Ride board, but she don't care. Oh my gosh, you guys. this is called, sorry, I think I'm doing what I said we weren't going to do, and we're getting sucked into the content here and not listening to the pages as much. If you guys want me to, you tell me what you want and I'll do it. But this is called the Motor Road Map of the United States. And then it's kind of an example of a U.S. highway marker here for U.S. 40. Motor Road. This would be before the interstate system, if I'm not mistaken. So these are all state highways. You know, Alistair, you bring up an interesting point about the about Pearl Harbor, because that's December of 41, of course, and I've been thinking about doing a second ASMR yearbook video. If you remember the premise from the first one, I did the math and said, okay, for people who were born a century ago, what year would they have graduated high school? And in that year, the answer was 1935. Well, if you do that math again this year, people who were born 100 years ago now, they graduated high school in 1941. And I'd like to do another yearbook video with a 1941 yearbook. I think as an imagination prompt, you know, if you think about 18 years old, graduating high school in May of 1941, with what was happening in the world right then at that moment, and then going into 6 months later, Pearl Harbor. You know, thinking about the kind of life perhaps some of these people thought they were going to have when they graduated high school, and then kind of what maybe they were pulled into due to the events in the world. I think maybe seeing the faces, you know, from those 1941 graduates might be really compelling. I've had my eye on a 1941 yearbook on eBay for a couple of weeks now that I think might be a good subject for a video like that. Life magazine and encyclopedia. Thank you, Hunchback. I appreciate that you like those. Let's see how they saw the world as new adults then. Yeah, and the one I've got my eye on has a ton of, you know, writing in it. So, could be really interesting. And then we have our geographical description of principal countries. Well, we spent a lot more time on this book than I thought we would. But that's okay. As long as you guys are okay. If you're okay, I'm okay. Looks like somebody did some math up here. And a little bit of, it's gotten wet a little bit. Kind of surprised nothing's stuck together back here if it was wet. And then the rear inside cover has the South Polar region. Some of the dates of the expeditions. Yeah, I love a multifunctional atlas. You can look up maps and do calculations. Gwen is dozing off. You can always, use the chat as a kind of a barometer of whether people are falling into comas or not. Okay, good. This ended up being very nice. Wonder if we should yeah, Geek Filter, I think you're very wise not to fall asleep when while walking. Look at this. Look at the writings here in this Psalm book. It's like a provenance of ownership. It says Rosie A. Rutledge. Then it has the word to. Then it says Rose Milliken. To Elizabeth Milliken. To Helen W. Ward. Hey Tristan. Welcome to the stream tonight. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Love the font. Are you talking about the cover, Geek Filter? Or are you talking about their handwriting? $18.59. Oh. This. Oh, this paper is. Come on. This might be my favorite for the evening. Let's see, I'm putting the pointer down. So we can get both hands on this thing. You can hear the age. It's probably gotten humid or something. Something's happened to the paper that I think makes it sound better. Thank you, Tristan. I appreciate that. I'm so glad you're still able to enjoy that content. Oh, gosh. Oh. Oils from hands. You know, that is an excellent point. You know, there's a reason why conservators and people like that always have gloves on. I remember finding this in a antique store close to a place where I work. Bought it for my wife for Christmas one year. And we end up keeping it in a plastic bag. It doesn't come out very often. The year is, I have no memory tonight. It's 1859, Hunchback. Oh, look. What are these? More little clippings. If you will prove constant, I will prove true and spend all my days in friendship with you. This is very light paper, again, like newspaper. Come join in the joys which the ladies impart, for innocent mirth is the balm of the heart. There you go. See, isn't that interesting? I mean, it's interesting enough being as old as it is, but somebody clipped these out and stuck them right here. And now we've just seen them. Who did that? Well, I suppose one of the names from the front, right? Excuse me. Hey, thanks, Gwen, for that clarification about the gloves. That makes perfect sense, what you're saying. Although I've seen it a lot, so that's always, I'm sure, misstating things there. I wonder how many other little clippings might be in here. Wish I could describe this, the texture. There is something about this texture. I wouldn't call it rough. Learned that from the V&A ASMR. That's that, I know what you're talking about, I think. That's the museum, right? I've seen their videos. That is fantastic stuff. Yeah, V&A Museum. Yeah, I'm subscribed to them. Yeah, I can't tell if I'm feeling the print. There's a slight irregularity in the texture. I can't tell if it's the paper or if this would actually be the print that I'm feeling. I guess I'm not accustomed to feeling print on paper, but it could be. Now I kind of don't want to skip any pages because I don't want to miss any other little clippings. Amazing to think how old books were made, all hand-loaded type. It may be letterpress. And then we come to this clipping that we saw before. This thing is so frail. Wow. I wish there was aside from the names in the front, a little more handwritten in here that might give some more clues about the journey this book took. I just love dark. I like paper that has a little more of a heft to it. these sounds are to your liking. They sound really good from here. Hey, Holly. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I wonder if, something written right there. Can't read it. You think about the 1850s. You think about maybe a one-room church in a outside a small Midwest town. Thank you for that, Dylan. It's a pleasure to have you here as well. I hope you're enjoying it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to starting to think about this channel a little bit more than I've been able to the last few years. I just trying to get kind of an energy off of this book, and I wonder if I wonder what kind of small little church environments it saw. Those 1850s and 60s and 70s. I used to geocache years ago, and then my wife and I used to travel around and take pictures of covered bridges and things, and you drive these small county roads, and sometimes you'll come across these little one-room churches that have been kept up, and you just wonder if a book like this made the rounds in churches like that all those years ago. Now, what do we have here? So this is a piece of blue lined paper. It's got a lot of the number 1 added together to 9, and then 3 more makes 12, then 2 more makes 14, and 2 more makes 16. And up here it says chapters, chapters spelled CHAPTURES. And then this says chapter, spelled the same way, psalm. $16. This is a little piece of a plant or a fern or something. I hope everyone had a good day today. I've actually had a little bit of a challenging day, so I was really looking forward to being able to kind of wind down with you all here tonight. Oh, we ran out of pages. Boring books. Looks like a scorecard for memorization, like from a Sunday school class. I like that theory. I like that theory because A, it's probably exactly right, and it gives context, doesn't it? It fires the imagination a little bit more about the journey of this book. Thank you. Sorry to hear your day was challenging as well, Geek Filter. I guess we have to take the challenging with the good. I've been trying to calibrate myself to a new project manager at work, and I don't feel like I've been doing a very good job of that lately, so that's where some of my challenges have come in lately. The Book of Psalms, translated out of the original Hebrew and with the former translations diligently compared and revised. I love the choices. When do you make it very small? When do you make it kind of medium size? Why do you pick this typeface versus this one? When all you're trying to put together is like a single sentence here with a period at the end, and the colon, and the comma. There's a little bit of a reverse imprint here. Like the some of the ink, I guess, has stained the facing page slightly. It's all through this facing page. paid for those typefaces. That's right. I did not expect this one to be kind of the MVP of the night, but it absolutely was. It's got little like four-leaf clover shapes in the corners. It looks like kind of a piece of black tape. The spine's probably gone. Wow. Very nice. We will spend a couple of minutes with the very thin pages of the Homer before we wrap it up tonight. I think we're about... Oh, they're so thin. I think we're about done. Macmillan Pocket Classics, Homer's Odyssey. The Odyssey of Homer done into English prose by S.H. Butcher, 1921. Holly was just wondering about the spine. Yep. Yeah, I'm suspecting that spine is completely gone. It's copyright 1905 by the Macmillan Company, but this printing was 21. I was skimming this introduction earlier. I love this part here. In adapting the translation of the Odyssey to the purposes of this series, it has been necessary to reduce it in bulk by about 1/5, an operation rendered easy by the primitive character of the original poem. What I have struck out consists of some of the repetitions so plentifully used in Homer, and other similar matter unessential to the narrative, particularly passages that the young reader would find especially difficult. Whoa, Packy. You translated some chunks of this back in high school during ancient Greek classes. So you were translating from Homeric Greek? Is that right? That is super cool. Oh, there's a little scribble. Yeah, 1920s literary shade. He's like, you know what? That Homer, he overwrote the Odyssey, so I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version. original text is super repetitive, a lot of descriptors written in multiple ways. Can totally understand cutting some of the fat. There you go. It's kind of more difficult to get these pages to speak because of their small size, I'm noticing. I love the thinness of them, but I don't think they're coming across that well. Just the ice cream, no sprinkles. That's right. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming out and hanging with us for a while this evening. Barring calamity, I'm going to try to see if I can keep up this bi-weekly schedule on Thursdays. Oh, there's a few scribbles. And I've got a few topics, like I said, that I'm kind of putting together, and we'll see if we can make this stream format work for something more than just sound triggers. We'll see where that goes. I'd like to see how a text like this would manifest in a secondary education kind of a way. Think of a classroom full of kids that would have something like this, of a teacher talking about Homer. What would a class like that look like? 5:20 a.m. Oh no for Packy. I get a bad feeling that that's not going to be as helpful as we want it to be, huh? I keep wondering if I'm going to find little clippings. A lot more writings. Kind of hard to read, and more math. I guess you got to do some math in books like these. can find these little Macmillan pocket classics all over eBay and various book resellers. I think the series was around for many, many years. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Supernova. I think I respect them, but it's harder to get these thin pages to speak. But that's okay. Okay, everybody. That was really chill and enjoyable, and I really appreciate everybody being here, and I appreciate everybody's interesting and varied comments. Hey, it's Chris Mack. Just got here. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Thanks for the stream. Needed to end my birthday. Happy birthday to Chris Mack. Happy birthday. That's awesome. Well, I hope it was a good one. Hope you treated yourself well and had a nice time. And I appreciate you thinking about stopping by here. Hey, Skater Rat Monkey. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry you missed it. Please catch it on the replay. We got some nice page sounds tonight and some nice conversation. Always appreciated. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for being here after all this time, and I will look for you in another couple of weeks, okay? I hope everybody has a good day and a good tomorrow. And we'll see you soon, all right? You guys take care. Thanks, everybody. Good night.